AM 1220 KHTS, your hometown station. You're listening to The Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds. You can listen to us live at hometownstation.com. You can also download the free KHTS app. And we have been talking with Deputy Duxbury, Shirley Miller, from the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station. And we need to talk about this. I'm actually going to let you were a big part of this, Jessica. Jessica Boyer's here also, which I failed to mention. Jessica Boyer, KHTS News Director? Do we call you Director?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to call you News Director. News Director of KHTS, Jessica Boyer. And we have, you were part of this task force that happened recently. You were in it was supposed to be a ride along. We might push some buttons here. But it was a ride with. But not a ride along.
It was a tag along.
It was a Jessica trying to follow the deputies in my little Corolla.
But yes, that's what it was.
Tornado chaser.
Yeah. But this was a task force that was put together. I'll let you, as a public health thing, go ahead. I'm going to let you take it.
So it was a great opportunity to be able to follow along. The Los Angeles County Public Health, they conducted this unpermitted food vendor task force in Santa Clarita. The sheriffs went along as well, just in case anything happened, anyone got angry, just in case. And the city also went along as well because their community outreach, they conduct these about once a month. The whole operation that I went on last week was a once a year kind of thing. And it was just checking permits and making sure that the food was packaged correctly and the food wasn't sitting out in 100-degree heat. And it was actually...
And this one, it was very hot outside, right?
It was about 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So, but I am hoping you guys can tell me a little bit about some of the permits and stuff that goes along, or why this task force was created.
Well, this task force, there's city ordinances that we have to uphold and support the health department in enforcing. And the city ordinance, it includes selling, offering for sale, or peddling of any goods, wares, merchandise, services, liquids, edibles for human or animal consumption. So that's basically why this task force was formed.
Maybe we could touch a little bit about, we talk about, I am a fan of the elote guys they got the cart and they honk their horn, and I am a big fan.
It makes it convenient for you when you're at work and you don't have time to go out.
Yeah, and they taste good, but there are things to worry about with that, right, Dux? Have you ever been on an operation like this, or where you talk to these guys and... Yeah,
unfortunately, I missed this operation, but working regular patrol when I had complaints about street vendors and I'd gone to check them out, the whole reason that these city and county permits are in place is to make sure these people are educated and they know how to properly maintain this food so you don't get sick.
Yeah.
And in the case of one that I had to go talk to, he had a jar of mayonnaise that was warmer than a cup of coffee, and cheese sitting out.
And that's disgusting.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I got really bad food poisoning from a restaurant where the mayonnaise was bad. So
yeah. So, and that's what it's about. It's about making sure that these people are obeying the health codes so that people don't get sick. That's the big part of it, to make sure that their food is fresh and that the stock is being rotated properly and these types of things. So
right. So it is important. I think some important. People may think that, it's not an important thing to do, this task force, but really it's for their health or their kids' health or anyone else who's getting food from these vendors.
And what was your experience like going through this thing?
Most of the people that we saw, there weren't very many people out, I'm assuming because it was so hot. But a couple of people that we talked to, they just had a minor violation, and they were just given kind of a warning saying, hey, just change this and you'll be fine. There was one person who did have his cart confiscated. And again, with the mayonnaise, one of the deputies pulled out the mayonnaise, and I just smelled it. And I don't know if you've smelled rotten mayonnaise, but
it doesn't smell kind of like rotten eggs.
I try to avoid it.
It's awful. I cannot describe how awful it smelled. And then they pulled out some cheese, and the cheese just smelled awful as well. And so it I can't even describe it.
And and the point being,
Did you eat lunch that day? After
yeah.
No, I didn't have dinner.
Yeah, the point being is, there was probably, oh, that's my elote guy, how could you do this kind of a thing? But really, it's a public health issue.
Absolutely.
And that's something you guys need to consider when you're choosing to purchase something like this.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so we got some more stories coming up next. Again, you can read that full story of Jessica's jaunt with the public health and the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station. You can go to hometownstation.com and check that out as well. This is the Neighborhood Watch. We got more coming up next. Neighborhood Watch presented by All American Bail Bonds on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. You're listening to the Neighborhood Watch, sponsored by All American Bail Bonds. Streaming live at hometownstation.com. And also on your free KHTS app. Go download that app today if you haven't already. It's free. Go search KHTS on your Google Play or your app store. We've had a great show today. We went over a myriad of topics. You can go back and listen to the podcast at hometownstation.com. Check out the video on youtube.com/KHTS radio. But we want to talk about some stuff coming up and also just some awareness. The point of this show is to raise awareness and crime prevention and how the Sheriff's Department gets involved with the community. But we had one of our news team members wrote a story about drug overdoses, and there's some pretty startling stuff in that story. I wanted Jessica to explain a little bit about some of the stats and stuff, but some of the things related to that story. Again, you can read it at hometownstation.com.
Yeah, accidental drug overdoses are becoming one of the leading causes of death in the U.S. And in the past, the leading cause of death has been primarily car accidents. So accidental drug overdoses are surpassing car accidents.
In terms of accidental deaths, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Because so it was car accidents primarily, but now we're seeing drug overdoses be a part of that as well.
Yes, and they have been responsible for. Accidental drug overdoses have been responsible for 22,700 deaths a year. And from 2009 to 2013, the drug overdose rates have increased in 26 out of the 50 states and decreased in only 6 of the states. So I know we have several programs in our community, Action Family Foundation, Action Family Counseling. They are a big part of that. But we also have a City of Santa Clarita event coming up. It's a symposium. And Shirley, can you tell us a little bit about the symposium coming up?
The City of Santa Clarita, they're going to be hosting a symposium next Wednesday, August 26th. And they do this annually, and it's a drug awareness event as well as a resource fair. And the theme this year is the immature teenage brain on pot. And we would recommend all residents of Santa Clarita who are interested to attend, as well as teens and their parents. And our Captain Roosevelt Johnson, he's going to be there as well. There's a panel there of experts, and he will be speaking.
Fantastic. So that's a great event, and especially if you have teens, get out there.
Right.
Or preteens.
And there's a lot of misconceptions that teenagers have about pot. Some of them think that it's a safe thing to use because it's natural. So really it will show them what it does do to your brain, both the immediate effects and the long-term effects, just to educate them so they can really see how dangerous it is.
Fantastic. And when is that event? When is it, and where is it again?
It's next Wednesday, August 26th. It's at 6 p.m., and it's at the Santa Clarita Activity Center. That's located on Center Point Parkway.
Right up there by the Aquatic Center, Walmart, Golden Valley Road area.
The address is 20880. Center Point Parkway. And if anyone wants more information on it, they can contact the city's community services office. They can be reached at 661-250-3708. That's 661-250-3708 if you'd like more info.
Yeah, and we'll have a story up at hometownstation.com, I'm sure.
Great. Yeah,
and
I'm
your
going to be there,
social media as well.
Yeah, and I'll be there too.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about a little bit about you guys' social media. What you guys are on everything except for Periscope, which we're periscoping right now. But you guys are not on Periscope, but you guys are on Twitter, Facebook, the big stuff.
Yes, we have an Instagram account.
Okay.
SCV Sheriff. We have Facebook, and we have Twitter.
And you guys would use that not only for, public information, but also outreach and making sure that, things are communicated effectively. You can send them a message if you see something out there as well.
Right. That, in addition to, as we talked about earlier in the program, the Nixle. That's a great way to stay in touch with the Sheriff's Department.
Awesome. And again, Nixle, how do you sign up for Nixle, Jessica?
You go to nixle.com and you put in your name and your information, and then you choose what agency you want to sign up for, and you can get emails, text alerts. They're fantastic.
Yeah, and if you're worried
awesome
about privacy, it really requires minimal information. You just need a name and an email, and then if you don't want to put your home address to get the ones exactly for your neighborhood, you can put in cross streets. That works too.
Oh, great. Yeah. Okay, perfect. And you can, again, you can do that zone specific, so you can have certain zones.
Sure.
You put in just want Stevenson Ranch.
Yes, you put in your home address or cross streets or a zip code, and that way we'll make sure that we send to you through email, via text, the latest.
Fantastic. Dux, I ask you this, I think, every show that we've done together. What do people need to do? The easiest thing they can do to make sure that they are not a victim.
Secure your personal property. Don't leave it in your car where everyone can see it. Make sure your cars are locked up in your driveway. Make sure your home's locked up when you're gone or at night. And just take those extra precautions, because when we keep ourselves safe, it does not make our city a target to outsiders who would want to come in and start thinking we're an easy target.
Fantastic. And I'm going to ask you that until it stops happening.
Sounds like a plan.
Just so you know. This has been the Neighborhood Watch. Jessica Boyer, myself, Kyle Jennings, Deputy Duxbury, Shirley Miller, our new PIO for the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station. We appreciate you guys coming by, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
See you soon.